when we were filming the TV show, I always asked if I could do it.
Take 4, really.
You guys are in for a treat. We have the one and only Andrew Soucie in the house, and he's a stud. He looks like Jason Momoa. He often gets confused. I get it. It's the long hair. But like we do always, we're going to start off in prayer.
Yep.
We're going to get right into it. Awesome. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the gift of this time to come together and talk as men about our lives, about everything that you are doing in our lives and in the world. And in this moment, Father, we just lift up Erica Kirk, her family, all the friends of Charlie Kirk, and the entire mission of Turning Point USA. Father, it was so evident about his life that he wanted your name glorified above all, and is an honor to sit in the shadows of men such as him, willing to lay down their lives for the sake of others, just to be able to have the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation. Father, we thank you, Lord, for his life. We ask that you would embolden the church globally, and certainly the men at Caveman to be bold and courageous with their faith in every scenario, Father. We love you. We ask, Lord, that you would come into this time, and that if there is any sin in us that would hinder us from hearing you, Lord, we now collectively ask for your forgiveness. And we ask, Father, that you would commune with us, and that this time would be edifying to us and to the community, and glorifying to you, Father. We pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Awesome. On that, this is like the first episode right after Charlie Kirk's assassination, execution, murder. How'd you find out about it?
I was listening to the radio, just driving one day.
Yeah.
And I think it was the day after. And I never really watch the news. Everything's so dark and gloomy, you can never tell what's right, what's wrong.
I totally get that.
And I heard it, and I was like, dang, is that for real? And then pulled up Facebook, and everything just lights up, and started watching the videos, and kind of just rabbit hole after that.
Yeah. Had you gone in? Had you watched any of his videos? Were you aware of who Charlie Kirk was before?
Yep. Didn't really know him before. Really early this year.
Okay. And you never saw him at Calvary Chapel?
No.
Okay.
I knew he came, but I wasn't. Can't remember where I was. But yeah.
Awesome. As a Marine Recon, right? That's. Did you have any thoughts about the sniper?
I don't know, man. I watched this guy explain possible body armor, and his explanation seemed to be pretty good. Entry wound versus exit wound, like that was a massive. If that was the entry wound, that's a big entry wound.
Yeah.
I've heard other stuff of, hey, he was shot from behind, but there doesn't seem to be any evidence that I've seen that suggests that. So I don't know. Everybody's got an opinion on it, man.
Yeah,
and
they really do.
The only one that matters is the Lord at this point.
Amen.
And he chose to bring Charlie home, and that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would on that, I would just caution my brothers and sisters in Christ from rushing to conspiracy collusions and conclusions.
Yeah.
And just like Job's friends, like stay quiet for a bit, like mourn, grieve, allow that time to allow the truth to come out. It always does in God's timing. Yeah. All right. Well, on that Marine Recon, that's where I think the first time I met you was actually at the Bowl Conference. Same time I met Philip. I can't remember if that's it or not.
No, I think the first time we met was at church, and it was a second year Caveman Combine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the
Sign
first
up.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I competed that year. And then time went on, and then it wasn't till we started going to North Carolina.
Yep.
We really kind of dug in.
Yeah.
So,
At the hurricane came through.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a good time.
Yeah.
Me and Brady.
That was awesome.
It's fun. Yeah. Okay. So, how long have you been at Calvary Chapel?
Oh, man. End of 2011, early 2012.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good long time.
Yep.
So, you're 22 right now. So, like 10
I
years
almost
old.
wish. My body's like, please. No, so I'm 28. So that was late middle school when I started going.
Okay.
At the time, my family, we were going to Sig Mountain Bible.
Okay.
But the weird part was my family had split churches. So
What does that mean?
My mom went to a different church. My dad went to a different church.
Oh, weird.
And so where I grew up in a great Christian home,
Yeah.
they never saw my parents fight. Never saw my dad raise his voice at mom. He never cussed at her. Like, it was a great home.
Yeah.
But I always noticed, like, why are we going to two different churches? Like, it felt
Weird.
like we were divorced because one weekend we go with dad. The other weekend, like, it's our turn to go with mom,
Wow.
And late in the middle school, I guess they heard about Calvary and we started going and we just fell in love.
So both parents started going.
Yeah.
Did they ever explain why they did
No.
two different?
I think there was some falling out with my mom with the church my dad wanted everybody to go to.
Okay.
And now I guess that was that.
Okay.
Never got too deep into it though.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Only sibling?
No, I had a younger brother.
Okay.
That's part of my testimony at, 2019, 2 weeks after his 18th birthday, he hung himself. Yeah. So.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's circle back. High school, middle school, growing up.
Yep.
Right. You're at Calvary in middle school. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So I went to middle school and high school at CCS.
Okay.
Grew up on Signal, and then I guess it was right about the time we started going to Calvary. We sold our house on Signal and moved in the North Shore area. And, middle school, it's awkward. No one likes middle school.
Yeah.
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 But about the time we started going to Calvary was just really getting plugged in with the youth and just loved every
Was
aspect.
Tyler there?
Golson wasn't on, I don't believe he was on staff yet, but he was there. I think he started showing, if I remember right, he started showing up around about the time I started going.
Okay.
Because he was on the Dominican trip with us in 2013.
Cool.
But yeah, so started going to Calvary, and then in 2013, December 4th, my father was on a business trip and passed away in his sleep.
Oh, wow.
And so what happened is he had a hemorrhagic stroke, which is basically an implosion of the blood vessels in the brain. And he struggled with sleep apnea for years.
Wow. How old are you?
I just turned 16.
God,
Yeah.
that's tough.
And my brother, I want to say he was 14. Because I was November 8th, he was July 8th.
Wow.
So, yeah, he was 14.
How'd your family take that?
We were plugged in very well at the church, and the community really walked through that with me. And they tried with my little brother, and they were there. So there was actually a point where one of the pastors were at the house. I remember I was at youth group. I was practicing and getting ready to lead worship at youth on a Wednesday. And Kenny comes down the aisle and he goes, "Hey, man, I need you to run to the house real quick." And in my head, I'm thinking, what did my little brother do this time?
Oh, yeah.
Because we've been going through this season with him to where I had a lot of anger when I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
His was coming out a little later.
Okay.
Right? And so it was just a lot of anger, a lot of resentment. We were both adopted. Probably should have started there.
Where from?
Romania.
Wow.
So we're actually biological brothers. I am I believe one of 7, and I'm the middle.
Wow.
And he's my direct sibling.
How old are you when you're adopted?
I was 4, and he 2 or 3.
Wow. Do you have any memory of?
No.
Yeah.
None.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah. And I think an interesting note too, there's where I was adopted still at an orphanage out of Bucharest. I had 3 to 4 years of nourishment where he was born and put on the doorsteps.
Oh, wow.
And so that malnourishment there follows you through your life.
Wow.
And there were just a lot of things growing up. It's like I tell people, it's like the only 2 things we had in common was we're blood brothers and we're artists, just on 2 different spectrums.
Yeah.
Like I was always outside playing sports, riding my bike, getting lost on my mountain bike up on Signal.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like getting in trouble because I was supposed to be home 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
And he was always inside listening to music or drawing, and that was it.
Little Jacob and Esau.
Yeah. And so, yeah, when my dad died, there was this just utter shattering of the family, you know. At one point, it was like, I can't be the husband of my mother, but I can't be the father of my brother. So I'm trying to ride this line, but everything in me is like, bro, I just went out. Like, there's no reason why I should be dealing with this, right? And leading to this point, my faith is growing. It's strong. I'm plugged in. I'm having an opportunity to lead in worship and learning there. I'm plugged in with youth. Just everything's going well. And when I find out my father had passed, the first words out of my mouth was a prayer. And I just remember raising my hand and going, Lord, I still love you. Please don't let this harden my heart.
Wow.
And the room went dead silent. And my little brother's upstairs. And yeah, so like that just goes to show like my faith was there, right?
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be till years later to where my heart was hardened, and not even over that. It was over my brother's suicide. Because the heart difference and the faith was totally different.
Yeah.
Right? One aspect, I'm grounded, and there are men walking through life with me and speaking truth into my life.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, I'm just totally disconnected. I'm pissed off at everybody. You know? My mom and I aren't even on talking terms. So it was like, when that happened, no. I was doing everything else but what I knew I should have been doing.
Talking terms, was that prior to your dad committing or dying? You weren't talking with your mom, or that was a side effect?
No, that wasn't even a side effect of that. There was a lot of tension in the home after that, but it wasn't even that yet.
Okay.
I think going through the remainder of high school, I think I was a sophomore at that point. Mom and I started having just a lot of mother-son issues, right? And then I left. Well, I say I left, but the reality was it was, get kicked out of the house or go to military school in Virginia.
Yeah.
So I chose military school. And I went to Fork Union out of Fork Union, Virginia for a year. And ended up doing really well. And chose to come back because I was emailing this girl that I had to come home to. It's always something.
It's always a girl.
Right? Yeah.
And
then proceeded to graduate from CCS. And at that point, my senior year, I'd actually moved out. And my little brother's in this phase to where he's, doing drugs and getting caught with weed and anything he can get his hands on, he's just self-destruct mode, right?
Yeah.
And he's in and out of the house, and, mom kicks him out, then she feels bad a couple days later. Okay, you can come in and take a shower kind of thing. And I was like, dude, I'm done. Wow. So I move to Lookout Mountain off of, I think it's Blackthorn Street. with my best friend. We're renting a house for $400.
Wow. That's a deal.
Yeah. And, yeah, so I'm driving up and down, and one day she's like, well, you just moved back home. I'm like, sure, whatever, you know? And, at that point, I think the issue there in my mind was like her attention was always on him,
Got it.
you know?
Got it.
And it's like, here I am about to graduate high school, and there's nothing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And even when there was something there, it was like, well, I don't even want it anymore. You know, I don't want a graduation party. I don't want, you know, I want to be left alone, right?
God.
Because all the things that would have happened normally no longer is going to happen because my father's not there, right?
Yeah, right.
And this is years later.
Yeah.
So where my faith was strong at first, you know, time goes on.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, this is one of the first instances where I didn't realize it then, but I'm like, okay, was it my faith? You know, like, is this my faith, or am I just checking the box, going through the motions?
Just surrounded by a lot of good men with faith.
Yeah.
And so riding the coattails.
Yeah.
Did your mom have people plugging into her life?
She did.
Yeah.
And now looking on, I'm like, you know, I think there was a couple times over the last couple of years, she was like, what happened to your faith? And I never understood that. You know, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, or I get mad and storm off, you know. But that just goes to show, like, she was grounded. And, yeah, that's never really been a worry for me, which has been a blessing in a lot of ways, too.
Yeah. So you graduated high school. What'd you do after that?
So going through high school, I knew I was going to enlist. My only question was, did I want to go, you know, be a SEAL like everybody else? Did I want to go Marine Corps and try going Recon or MARSOC? Or did I want to go Army and go Airborne Ranger? And my dad was Army, and to this day, I wish I would have taken his advice.
What'd he say?
And he goes, don't just go enlist in a branch. Go look at it and see what everybody has to offer.
Yeah.
And I didn't even do that. I was just like so prideful. I was like, nah, dude, I got this, you know?
Okay.
And ended up enlisting in the Marine Corps. And I just remember graduating high school being like, all right, this is what I'm going to go do.
Yeah.
And graduated in May. And I was supposed to ship out to boot camp. I think it was end of August, early September of 16.
Yeah.
And my contract got lost. I was a recon contract.
Oh, no.
And it got lost. And my recruiter, the lead recruiter at RSS Chat, got it back. But if I remember right, he resigned his position to get it back as a recruiter so he can go back to the fleet.
Got it.
And ended up getting delayed and not going in till like a month and a half later in the boot camp.
Got it.
And during that time, I was like, crap, I enlisted with my best friend. He's gone. Now I got 5-6 weeks. I had to go figure something out to do.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, my mom's ready for me to be out.
Yeah.
Like, either go to school or get out of here, you know?
Yeah.
And I was pretty much like dead to the world. Like, I'm doing my own thing. I don't care. Still prideful. Egos through the roof.
Yep. You going to church at this point?
Still active in church, but I'm just going through the motions.
Yeah.
You know?
I get that.
I think I was just so done with high school and how everything fell apart at that point. And then everything just happening with my little brother. And
when did that happen?
he didn't. So this was 2016 when I graduated. He didn't commit suicide till 2019.
Okay. So we're not there yet.
Yeah.
So you 5 weeks happen.
Yeah. So I ended up going to Paris Island.
Okay.
Graduate Paris Island, get 10 days, come home, do that whole boot leave thing, and then end up flying out to the West Coast, School of Infantry out there, and I'm going through the primer course for recon school. Well, this is where everything kind of blows up. So during this time, I'm also talking to this chick that I think we've been talking for like 6-7 months. And
How'd you meet her?
Local.
Okay.
Local here. And, you know, again, mindset is just everything what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, I'm disconnected from the Lord. I'm not building godly community where I'm at.
Hmm.
And I'm just going through life. I'm like, this is my goal. I'm going to go do this thing. Whether it takes everything out of me or not, I don't care. Like,
What was that, the goal?
so the goal was eventually MARSOC, but I signed a recon contract. I knew that's what I wanted to do because as I started doing more histories, just research, everybody kind of knows what SEALs do.
Yeah.
Nothing on anybody. Like, you know, everybody has an idea what MARSOC does, but nobody really knows what recon does. And they've been around forever.
Yeah.
You know, they've just never really been implemented as a special forces group.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, cool. That's what I want to do. And so all through middle school and high school, I'm still training, doing all this stuff, working out all the time, just playing sports. And, you know, I'm ahead of my peers in just about almost everything physically. And I'm like, I got this in the bag.
Yeah.
You know, and I show up at the primer course at the time. It was called BRPC, Basic Reconnaissance Primer Course. And that was 2 TAC 17. And
that's your MOS?
No, that was a class number.
Got it.
Second class of 2017. And I'm going through, and all it is just a haze test for 5 weeks. Like, you know, it's like, hey, this is going to prepare you to go through BRC, but, you know, if you graduate this, then you have like an 85%, 90% chance of actually graduating recon course.
Got it.
If you
weed out the chaff before they actually get weeded out. Yeah.
Well, it's like, I don't know what BUD students have, but there's a primer course you can do before you go into BUDs. And A&S, there's like a workout program you can do before you try to go to A&S for MARSOC.
Yep.
Recon school, the primer course is 5 weeks. You graduate that. Okay, hey, we started with a class of 128 and graduated 24.
Yeah.
Like, those are the guys you can go through the actual course with.
Yep.
Right? And so it's all it is for 5 weeks is, are you willing to keep going?
Yep.
Because they break you down on land in the mornings, and then they destroy you in the pool. Right?
Yeah.
And everybody thinks they can swim until, you know, you're getting choked out at the bottom of a 10, 12-foot pool.
Yeah.
Like what the crap did.
Yeah.
So get through the primer course, and we're going through the BRC course. And I'm still talking to this girl. And I just remember going like, okay, like, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I remember telling her, like, I'm doing this school. Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And she left me alone. And I was like, oh, sweet. That's cool. That's a +1, right?
Yeah.
I don't know many girls that are dating a guy. They're like, hey, okay, I'll leave you alone. You know, go do your thing. And going through the course in 3 months. And at the end of it, I end up hurting my back. And this is where the entirety of my career shifts. And I can't continue to do what I've trained essentially my entire life to do. And I'm like, at this point, I'm 2.5 years in off a 5-year contract. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go back to the schoolhouse. Like, but what is there to do?
Right.
I just remember waking up one morning, I couldn't walk. And what ended up happening is I blew the cartilage up to my 0405 vertebrae.
Wow.
And now I've got C6 and C7 issues and whatnot. And
was it just the stress of the entire thing or one specific injury?
I don't think it was ever one thing. I think it was starting out working out so young. Like, I've always just been that guy, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to freaking crush it. And I'm going to throw it back in your face and say your turn.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you're going to challenge me, let's make it a challenge.
Yeah.
You know?
I love it.
And I may fail, but hey, now I know what to do better next time.
Yeah, right.
Like, I will throw it back in your face, if not this time, next time.
Absolutely.
Right? And I've always been that way. You know, whether it was sports, whether it was in the gym. I mean, as a freshman, I'm bench pressing 225.
God, that's awesome.
Now, my squat wasn't there.
What's your weight, though?
160, 165.
Yeah, that's what's amazing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing hundreds of
you're
push-ups.
not a linebacker.
Yeah, I'm doing hundreds of push-ups a day. Every time I go to the gym, my goal was 100 pull-ups. So by the time I got there and before I left, I did 100 pull-ups.
Yeah.
But the only caveat was one pull-up never counted. It was always 2 or more.
Yeah.
So I could do sets of 5, 10, 20, but once I got down to 2, it's always sets of 2.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember the NDOC score actually for a recon squad at 48 pull-ups.
That's awesome.
But then they killed me over the run because like no one does 48 pull-ups and runs as slow as Soucie. I'm like, come on, man. You know, I'm not the fastest runner. I'll run all day, but I'm not the fastest runner.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's humbling, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up hurting my back, and I remember sitting at.
So are you through the course, or you're in the course and
I'm in the course. Back is done.
Got it.
Like 3 weeks before graduation, we had one more week of training, which is a culminating event, and then an admin week and the graduation.
Wow.
And my back is done, and I'm like, I would have graduated. I was that close, and I just remember getting so mad.
Yeah.
You know, like, Lord, you gave me the ability to train this hard for years.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you ultimately allowed me to come here. My contract was gone. That probably should have been red flag number one if I was walking it out. Right. Like, I probably would have realized, hey, the Lord's probably calling me to do something different. But I was so consumed with myself and just my anger and bitterness. I was like, no, this is what I'm going to do. Hey, Lord, you can take a backseat in my life.
Yeah.
Because I've got it. Thanks. And that went on for quite a while. And it was actually shortly after that. Throughout the course, I'm getting these phone calls and from my mom, and we're kind of catching up like once a month. Like, hey, you alive? Yeah, I'm doing this. Okay, cool. Talk to you next month, kind of thing. You know.
Got it.
And then there'd be a little conversation with my little brother over phone every now and then, but it'd always be from a different phone number because he couldn't pay his bill or he'd get fired. And you know what I'm saying? Just he's going.
Was he at home with your mom?
He was still kicked out of the house, but he was in the area back in chat. And it was kind of this weird dynamic of like, there was, I think when I boil it down, there was always this, I was the older brother, I should have been there thing, right? And then there was also just like this realization of, yeah, but I'm just selfish and I want to go do my thing. And I always knew that, but I never addressed it till later down the road.
Wow.
And like he'd call and want to catch up, and I'd always cut a conversation short, you know, because it's like, well, you're being stupid. You're, you know, at this point, he's 17, 18. Like, he knows what right and wrong is.
Yeah, right.
But he's just choosing the opposite thing. And it's really no different than what I was doing. Just it was in a different light, right?
Yeah, right.
And, yeah, so end up sitting at Recon Training Battalion for about 6 months and just trying to figure out what I'm going to do in physical therapy, trying to figure out what the crap is happening. Go on to reclass and became a diesel mechanic. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to recover, recoup, and then go back and finish this thing. And I ended up disqualifying myself. But before we get to that, after... trying to think timeline. Mid 2017, after I hurt my back and realized I can't do everything, I'm in the middle of transitioning MOSs, and my mom calls me. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good. Like, I'm still at Recon Training Battalion, and I'm getting ready to go to Missouri to become a diesel mechanic in like a week or so. She's like, hey, your little brother hung himself. I'm like, oh my God, right? And this is, I'll say this goes to show where my heart was at about what I'm about to say. And I never said it out loud, but I'm just sitting there thinking another one bites the dust. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Now I got to go home and deal with this. Like, that's how self-absorbed and selfish and prideful and just like I no longer cared. And so I'm now dealing with that. I'm starting to drink, right? And I realized, hey, I could stay in the Marine Corps and have a chance of going back and finishing what I started if I just numb my back pain. So I'm doing that. Come home for the funeral, and at this point, I'm engaged to this girl, and we get married about 2 months later.
After
the funeral.
You bury your brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never dealing with it. Knowing who I'm marrying, but not knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we like each other. You're hot. This works. Let's go get married.
Yeah.
And again, it was, looking back, it was me seeking that void. Like, alcohol's working for my back, and I can still do the Marine thing. But there's another void now, and now I want to fill that. So now I go get married.
How did your mom handle your brother?
She was devastated, man. There were a lot of things that happened while I was gone that I saw very little of. And the times I was home, I was in just utter disbelief of what was going on. There was a time I was at the house, and like I've seen people pissed off. Like, when I get genuinely pissed off, like, get out of my freaking way. But I've never seen my little brother so angry, like he's gonna kill you. And he had a knife in his hand, and he's like cutting holes in the walls and just going around the house like almost possessed kind of thing. And I remember just knocking the knife out of his hand and just taking him and just throwing him on the bed and holding him there. And I'm like, this is not my little brother. And it was that night we actually admitted him to Valley Mental Institute. And he was there for 2-3 months. And at this point, I'm back in California. And yeah, just a lot of stuff like that. You know, it's like when you open the doors to some of the things that was going down, you just invite a lot of evil in.
Yeah.
And I don't know the full extent. My mom doesn't talk about it. But, you know, over the last couple of years, I have seen her heal in ways I didn't think was possible.
Wow.
She uses her past pain for what she does now. And she's actually, ironically, a trauma counselor. So
Wow.
she deals with PTSD and trauma victims, sexual assault victims, all these things. And kind of how you and I were talking earlier, like, nothing's wasted in God's economy.
Yeah. Amen.
And so to see that pain being redeemed for a greater purpose has been awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at this point, I am 19. She's 20. I'm in a marriage that I know probably isn't going to work, but I don't really care, right? We're just using each other. Like, that's what we were doing. And it wasn't like, there was a genuine like, okay, I love you. But there was an understanding of what love was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I get that.
And so there was that. And our first 2 years were great. Like, we were traveling all the time. We were doing all the parks, you know, like, life was good.
Yeah.
I'm, you know, healthy enough to, I'm at a point where, okay, I'm working out again. Like, I threw my relentless in packaging. I'm going to go back to recon school.
Yeah.
And see what happens. And all of a sudden, like a flip of a switch, like, all of her past trauma from childhood just started exploding. It's one thing after the next. Like, all of a sudden I'm coming home and we're in a fight over the dumbest things. You know, it's obviously a buildup. Like, every relationship's a two-way road.
Yeah,
it's not you just did something wrong and I have to deal with it. It's like, well, how I act and how I respond, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, is still going to, in your mind, going to justify how you act, respond to what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, we went down this road of just argument after argument after argument, and never really understanding what was really going on until she just, one day she finally kind of starts to let me know some of the things she's dealt with as a child. I'm like, okay, I don't need to be the one to, like, deal with this with you. Like, you need to go talk to somebody. And I'm drinking more, you know. Military life isn't going the way I want it to, right? Like, my back is still screwed, you know. And I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. So now we're back at the, I'm going to go do what I want to do phase. Right? And, yeah, it just never worked out. None of it. And it, you know, looking back on my marriage, I'm like, when you have two unhealthy people
Mm-hmm.
that have never dealt with their trauma,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was a family member death or whatever the extent of that trauma was, right?
Right.
And you put them in the same house and you put a ring on the finger,
Yeah.
it's going to explode.
Turn on the TV. It's about to get drama.
Yeah. Like I remember sitting in my kitchen one night, just face in my hands, and I'm like, this isn't going to last. And I knew it.
Mm.
And we were about 3 years in at that point. And I go, this isn't going to last.
Mm.
And
Did you say that to her?
no.
You just knew.
I just knew.
Yeah.
And at the time our first year we had rented an apartment.
Mm.
And I'm like, I'm throwing all this money down the drain at an apartment. Let's go buy a house.
Yeah.
You know? And like every sergeant or below, they're like, hey man, we want as far away from base as possible.
Yeah.
So we have to go like 30 miles north. I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
And ended up buying a house right before I was 21. And it was an awesome house. Sweet first buy. But it was that step towards seclusion that finally did it in for us.
Mm.
We weren't active in church. We were just so consumed with ourselves, separated from each other, that we could have lived within a 500 square foot apartment and still found out how to be 100% separate of each other.
Mm.
Like it didn't matter.
What
right?
was she doing at the time?
So we were actually dual military.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And part of the struggle there is like everything now is a competition, right? Like military life is hard. It doesn't matter what the job is, right? You're on call 24/7. And like some days I get to come home at 3, some it'd be 7 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, well now we own a house, we got to do stuff. There's higher responsibilities. There's financial responsibilities in a different way. So it's like you don't have time for a life as a junior enlisted, especially when you're dual military. And so there was already frustration building up from that. And then when we secluded, it just all came out.
Wow.
All of it. And it's interesting where we try to fill voids in that time frame, It's like we went through the phase of we had 1 dog, then we had 2 dogs. And now we have 3 dogs. I'm like, what the crap?
Yeah.
Like, wow, those are your dogs. Apparently, I'm going to just sit over here and do nothing. You know? But, yeah, it just finally exploded. And we had a field op, and I came home early one day. And at this point, I already knew she was cheating. And, like, we lived 30 minutes away from base. Like, you don't come home at 4 in the morning when you know we got to leave at 5 to be there by 6.
Wow.
Right? Like, you just don't. And so I knew she was cheating. And my drinking is way out of hand at this point. Like, I'm showing up to work and I'm going to my base, slamming my door shut. My staff NCOs walked in. Soucie, you hungover? Yep. Just not a care in the world, And I come home early to this guy sitting in my kitchen and goes, "What's up, my guy?" I was like, "Bet. This is where I get to take it out."
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
We're about 3.5 years in at this point, and I am pissed.
Yeah.
Like I was pissed before you ever showed up.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to her, just obliterating her, and essentially kicked her out. And never saw her again. And I turned all my attention to this guy. And I'm like, listen, we got 2 options. We can go to my backyard and fight, or we'll just call PMO. Like, I don't care. But my thing was, like, I didn't really want to get the military involved. Right? Yeah. He was a Marine, too, so I'm like, well, this can go really bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just beat the crap out of this guy.
Yeah.
Well, we're going, and it gets to a point to where I'm, like, not throwing fists anymore, but elbows to his face. And I remember getting up not knowing if I killed this guy because he's laying there for 30, 45 minutes. I go to my garage, pour a drink, and I sit there till I pass out.
Wow.
And I wake up the next day and he's gone. I'm like, okay, I guess he's not dead,
Wow.
And that was the first time in my life there was a hint that was something wrong. Like, that's how prideful and arrogant I was. Like, I did not give a flip. Like, oh, I think I killed this guy. Who cares?
Wow.
Like, who cares? And it was a couple weeks after that, I get my first DUI. And wife's out of the house, where everything's going just as quick as it came, right? Faster, actually. And at that point, I disqualified myself from going back to recon school. And it was an on-base DUI, so, you know, if you get in trouble on base, nothing ever happens in the civilian sector if it's within certain, you know, issues.
Right.
Because it was on base, well, I was like, okay, we'll get bumped down a rank, moved into the bricks. I think it was like 90 days, you know, and I had to check in every 2 hours after work, every 2 hours on weekends and do extra duty. I'm like, I don't really care. You know, I was still drinking and doing that, you know, and you're supposed to be dry the entire time. And bottom line, there was no real punishment, you know. So the door opened up, and I was like, you know, I'm still drinking. Cool, I got this. You know? Like, at this point, I'm thinking I could still re-enlist. So where I can't go back to recon school, I'm like, well, what else am I going to do? You know, I'm like, well, I'll stay in and go back infantry. And 3 months after that, and at this point it's the first DUI was December 22nd of 2019. The second one was right after restriction. It was like 3.5 months after, early 2020, and I get an off-base DUI, driving somebody else's car, because I just flipped my big F-250 in the mountains a week prior because I was drunk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And my buddy's on deployment, and he's like, hey, you can use my car. I'm like, sweet. So I go out, and I go get another freaking DUI. And this one's for real. And I blew the first one was a .24, and that was on base.
Wow.
And nothing happened. So again, that opened the door because there was no punishment. There was no real punishment, right?
Right.
And in my pride, I was like, sure, whatever, who cares? Like, life's already going to crap. Like, let's just sink this boat.
Yeah.
And I got to get another DUI, and I blew .17. And I think it was a 96 that weekend, which is a 4-day weekend. And we're supposed to check in every morning, just to call in, make sure everybody was good. Well, obviously I didn't call in because I'm sitting in jail.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember coming out, and I remember the arrest. The officer's like, this isn't your car. I go, no, it's my buddy's who's on deployment. And they're like, crap. So they didn't tow the car. They parked it at Home Depot.
Wow.
So I got an Uber from jail to the Home Depot. I was like, well, that's a blessing, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, now I'm looking at actual punishments, right? Now my re-enlistment secured. I'm getting out of the Marine Corps. And I've lost my wife, right? At this point, I'm losing my house. Because all my money is going towards alcohol, right? So literally my finances, my budget was truck money, so fuel, let me get where I want to go, and alcohol. That was it. So all my money is getting thrown into these two things. Underwater on my mortgage, and like just no care in the world, right? And so I ended up opting in on this, hired a lawyer, and did military diversion court, and went through this 1-year process of having to check in like every quarter. I'd have to go to court and give them a in-person update. You know, all the time I'm doing AA, I'm doing all this classes and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
But even with that, there was no real punishment. And then that got closed and expunged.
Wow.
So now I'm getting out of the Marine Corps with nothing. I remember calling my best friend. I go, hey, man, here's where I'm at. Like, he knew. Like, we had talked throughout the season. And I'm like, if I fly you out here, will you drive back with me? He's like, yeah. Like, okay, cool. So I had a 94 12 valve Cummins that got off of one of my Marines. He had broke down and he's like, you can just have it, dude. I was like,
wow.
sweet. So, putting all the rest of my money into it to rebuild it.
Yeah.
And packing up my house and all this. And I'm like, okay, whatever I can fit in the truck is what's going to go. Clothes, guns, and guitars. Everything else I don't give a rip.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care about the pictures. I don't throw it in the dumpster.
Yeah.
I had a guy show up with, because it was a dump truck kind of thing. And I'm like, it was $500 a load. Loaded as much crap into it as I could. Didn't care. And she signed everything over. She just wanted out, And there was even a point of before we ever filed for divorce, there was this point of where one of us would try, and then we're just so broken and just pissed off with each other, we just shoot each other down.
Got it.
So I'd go in and be like, hey, let's go do this, or hey, I'm sorry. What can I do better? And I get shot down and I get pissed off and go drink.
Yeah.
Right. And then she'd try the same, and I'm like, well, now you did this to me. Screw you,
Yeah.
So it's just this back and forth. And the military has what's called credo retreats. And the chaplains typically head them off, but it's for married couples and helps you kind of get away and do everything from cruises to rent you out a hotel and do a conference kind of thing. And we did this credo retreat. And I remember, this was so bad, where at the end of one of the classes, she's like, we're going to go talk to the chaplain. Pulling my ear kind of thing. You're an alcoholic. We're going to go talk to the chaplain. I was like, okay, whatever. So we go talk to the chaplain. I'm telling him everything I'm doing. And she's like, oh, yeah, and? I'm like, okay, yeah, and I do this, Yeah. Just nailing the coffin.
Yeah.
And he looks at her and goes, yeah, he's got a lot of things he has to deal with. But you're angry. You're an angry person. Wow. And she stormed off.
Wow.
And I just remember looking at the chaplain bro, do you know who my wife is? You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And the rest of the trip was just blown up. We didn't talk. We didn't do the activities together. That was it.
Wow.
And we even tried on-base marriage counseling, which if you need to do it, but I'd go private for marriage counseling.
Yeah.
And that didn't go well because they tried to call her out on something else, and it was just again, relationships are two-way roads.
Yeah.
And so at this point, yeah, it's done. And I knew after the infidelity, I knew enough scripture to be like, okay, I'm justified in this, right? And I remember filing for divorce. I'm like, bro, this is retarded. Trained my entire life to do something I can't do anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not even, I was married at 19, divorced before I'm 25. It took a year and a half to sell my house because I kept taking it to short sale just to break even.
Wow.
And it was in the middle of COVID, and that was a blessing in itself that it did sell for above what I needed.
Yeah.
But it took forever for the divorce to actually finalize. California's got a 6-month cool down period. And so before you can even file your papers, you have a 6-month cool down period. Whatever. And then you file, and it's a 1-year process.
Yeah.
Especially when you have things like equity and whatnot. And, so I just remember going I know enough to make this choice, but not enough to understand the implication or what it really meant, right? And so now, getting out of the Marine Corps, I have nowhere to go. My best friend and I are driving cross country in a death trap truck.
Yeah.
It was sketchy. And my mom at the time had moved to El Paso. And she's like, well, drive through, you can spend the night. So we don't have to spend money on hotels. Sweet, And we did that, and then woke up the next day and kept coming home. And
when you say home, was there anything in Chattanooga that was home? Because your mom's in El Paso.
Yeah, not at this point.
Yeah.
Dad's gone, brother's gone. I mean, after my brother, my mom got up and moved.
Yeah.
And she went through a season to where she was moving all the time. And from what I saw, it just kind of looked like, filling a void of, okay, I'll move here, see what this does for me. Move here, see what this does for me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was going on. Yeah, there was nothing here other than there was something in me that was like, bro, if you don't move back home, like, you're going to be dead in less than 10 years. Like, you're not going to do well.
Did you have a plan?
No.
Yeah. Just get there, figure it out.
Just get home, see what happens. My best friend was kind enough. He was married, and he was married a year after I was, while he was in, and still married to this day. And he was kind enough to let me crash on his couch for about 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
You, me, and Dupree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure his wife loved that.
Oh, I'm sure.
But we had gone back to work for his dad, doing construction and just building. At the time, we were getting ready to build a pole barn for a client. And, I'm trying to figure out what my next move is.
How's your back at this point?
Shot.
You still numbing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And yeah, so I was still drinking and living with him, just thinking, man, like, what the heck am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, this was all I knew I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know how to fill out a college application today.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't know what building to go to. And I was down, dude. Mm-hmm. And about 2-3 months into living with him, the reality was I can't stay there. And his dad had some property, and I was like, hey, listen, we'll go build this shed, and you can stay there, but you're not going to drink. As long as you're working, well, you can take some time, 6-12 months. Work will give you work. We'll make sure you're getting money you need, and you can pay the rest of your attorney fees off, and we can get you in a vehicle and get you back on the right track, kind of thing. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
But of course I was still drinking. And then I'm playing in this rock band. So every time I'm at a show, I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Yep. But now I am in a season to where I'm just secluded. I'm living 45 minutes to an hour.
Lone wolf.
Yeah.
Yep.
And living 45 minutes to an hour away. The only time I came off the mountain was to play with the band, And that season finally came to an end. My singer at the time was like, hey man, I'm sick of coming up here and picking you up. Because at the time too, I also don't have a license.
Got it.
Because that off-base DUI, well, that actually hit my record for a while, and I didn't have a license because of it until everything got closed out, So I was like, here we are.
Yeah.
Can't drive anywhere.
Yep.
I'm stuck,
Yeah.
And his family had a room in their basement. Like, hey, why don't you come move down here? I was like, what am I going to do for work? Like, I don't know. We'll help you find a job. I was like, okay, cool.
Wow.
So now I'm living in the same basement, playing music, and working at a company as a diesel mechanic. And at this point, this is where I'm falling back into healthier community. Nowhere near where I need to be yet, but the seclusion state's over, right?
Got it.
And so they really pulled me out of that. And I was sick of being that far away too.
Yeah. I get it.
But yeah, now I'm a diesel mechanic and I'm doing this thing for a while and have my license back, and my mom and I are on better talking terms at this point. She's seen a progression.
Yeah.
Okay, he's doing better. He's taking steps. And where she had still moved, she had kept her house as a rental in Chattanooga. And she's like, hey, listen, you can rent out the in-laws house, but you can't drink. I was like, okay, bet. this is about 6-7 months after living in this basement.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm year and a half, 2 years out, and now I'm alone. I'm going where I'm not as secluded. I'm still secluded, right? So I'm going to work, playing in the band, and I'm coming home and still drinking. And then September of 22, I get another DUI.
Wow. How many is this?
This is 3.
3.
In 3 years.
Nice.
And I'm like, daggum, bro. Like, this is it, right? Like, we're done. Mm-hmm. And I remember sitting in jail. And this is the second time in my life where I genuinely didn't care about anybody. The first was that fight I had with the guy that, cheated with my wife. The second is I'm watching this guy literally take his last breath in jail. And it hits me like, bro, there's something wrong. There's something utterly wrong here. And what I had totally forgotten while I'm sitting in jail is my mom was coming back home to take care of the house and then go back to Texas. So she was going to come home, take care of the house 1 or 2 days, and then relax for a couple days before she went back. When she came home to the in-laws house, just thrashed, right? I mean, whiskey bottles everywhere, beer cans on the ground.
Yeah.
And I remember calling her. I'm like, listen, I'm not expecting you to bail me out of jail. I'm just letting you know, hey, like, this is where I'm at. And she just hung up. And the second thing I realized sitting there was I'd never felt so alone in my life. Like, there wasn't, oh, well, the Lord will bring me out of this. There wasn't, oh, I can fix it. There wasn't even, okay, here's my plan. Here's what I can do. Even that stripped away at this point.
Yeah, right.
Right. I'm in a cell with 40 other guys, and I'm just like watching this guy take his last breath.
Was he taking his last breath? He's ODing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, everybody backed away from him. I just remember looking at him like, the first thought was, cool, whatever. And then it just hit me, and it just wrecked me.
Wow.
And remember, I was planning on bedding down and staying until my court date, and the guy I was working with at the time found out and bailed me out.
Wow.
And I remember getting back home, knocking on the door. It was about 7:30 in the morning. And my mom goes, what are you doing out of jail? I'm like, I don't know. At the time, I didn't know I even got bailed out. They're just kicking me out. I was like, here's your next court day. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
And at that point, the option was pack your crap and get out. Like, obviously, you can't take everything, so you're going to lose everything, right?
Yeah.
Or we can figure out what we can do with your stuff and you go into Renew.
How did you know about Renew?
So Renew, I want to say it started in 2013.
Okay.
And she had called one of the pastors who had been there and walked through life with me with my father and was like, he needs to go into Renew.
For guys that don't know what it is, what is Renew?
Renew is a men's discipleship program where essentially the first 6 months you go to a farm and you're working on the farm. And what that's there for is to get you back in healthy habits, right? It's like whether it's porn addiction or alcohol, drugs, it could be a blanket of anything, right? Anything guys struggle with, like, you can do this. And it gets you back just in the routine, healthy routines. Wake up, you're eating 3 meals a day, right? You have a schedule, you're going to work, right? You're working on the farm in one asset or the other. And then you're also in community. You're bunking with all these guys, right? So you have accountability, you have all these things, but then you're also re-engaging in scripture. So you have morning devos, you have debriefs, and then you have time throughout the week as well. So it's just a safe place for you to get healthy.
Yeah.
Number one. And then number two, if you dig in, like, the Lord's going to do something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. And the following 6 months is you go down and you work at the church, whether it's janitorial or just kind of help with church grounds, things like that. You're involving another layer of community. You're getting to know different people and things like that.
Kind of reacclimated to civilian life.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did the farm. I chose to go to the farm, and ended up packing all my stuff up and we were going to put it in storage. And then my best friend's like, bro, you don't have money for that. He's like, I've got a spare room. Put all your crap in my spare room.
Wow.
I was like, dang, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I put all my stuff there, and here I am going to renew. Still prideful, arrogant. Like, I'm just choosing, obviously this can cause less pain. Like, let's just do this. Right?
Yeah.
And I last about 2 months, and I leave. So I show up October 1st, and it's right after the Super Bowl. And I'm just like, I'm done, dude.
Yeah.
Like, my first 2 months there, like, if you talk to me, like, I'm probably biting your head off. Like, I'm still just self-absorbed. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm pissed at myself. I'm pissed at God. I'm pissed at the world, right? So I really didn't talk. And I ended up leaving, drinking again, and had a few phone calls and realized, like, hey, if I'm going to do this, I need to do it right. So I get accepted to go back in. And I go back in and do the full 6 months at the farm. And I get downtown, and I didn't do it downtown. So it's like, okay, well, you humbled yourself enough to get to the farm, right?
Yeah,
and I'm learning, like, I'm digging in, but there was still this aspect of, like, I got this.
Yeah.
That had to be broken.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen up there. And I get downtown, it's like, I grew up at this church. I know everybody, like, I know the things to say. I know how to act around certain people. Like, got it in the bag, right? And I last about 6 weeks downtown, and I get kicked out.
For what?
I didn't fulfill some of my responsibilities one night. I think I was working the dish pit in the restaurant, and I'm like, okay, we're done. I'm leaving 10 minutes early, right? And I got into it with one of the leaders, and he made a phone call, and that leader called back and put it on speaker, like, hey, man, pack your crap, you're out of here. I was like, crap, here we are again, right?
Yeah.
Like, just pride.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it boils down to, just pride.
Dude, it's always that.
And I remember calling my band members. I'm like, hey, just let you know I'm out. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'll let you know when I figure something out. So I rent a hotel room for a week. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to lay low and figure something out. Well, they're like, no, you don't need to do it alone. Come back to our basement. Like, you don't need to do this by yourself at all. Right?
Yeah.
And my mom's still out of state. And I remember getting out and going, okay, this is it. I have a choice to make. I can either be pissed off at the church, renew, whoever, right? Or I can realize right now is the turning point. I can be like, okay, I did not do that well, but there are some lessons I did learn that the Lord's asking me to continue learning, right? And expanding upon. So I'm going to choose that.
Yeah.
And so I continue to show up, continue to show around the church. And at this point now I'm doing cabinets and learning that trade. And I have a car now, you know. Now I've got a breathalyzer in my car because that last DUI was a real one, and there's real consequences. Not that the other two weren't real DUIs, but there's real consequences attached to it. There's no getting away from it kind of thing. And I'm taking the steps that I need to be taking. And finally have enough money, and me and another guy are now renting a house. And this is 2023? Yeah, October 23.
Yeah.
And things are going really good. And I start looking on just work-wise. I'm like, I enjoy this cabinet thing. I enjoy my own schedule.
Yeah.
I'm healthy again. Like, what's it take to open up a business?
Yeah.
You know? So I actually started my business at this house, and I had a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
2-door coupe Honda Civic.
Doing cabinets.
Doing cabinets.
You can't fit a lot of cabinets in the Honda Civic.
No, but you can fit your tools in the back,
Yeah.
bench seat, and my saws in the front without the passenger seat in.
Yeah, there you go, man.
So I made it work. And my relationship with my mother at this time is just growing. And to a point I never really thought it would have.
Wow.
And just to see the restoration at that time was just unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, again, I'm healthy. I'm, plugged back into church. I'm surrounding myself with men that know me. Not just from today, but 10 years ago, we know Soucie,
Yeah. Yeah.
We know how he is. We know he likes to seclude, all these things.
Yeah.
And so plugging back in, and I'm just working. And that year was just okay, that year was about doing the right things. And then last year was about just shut up and work. Right. And I remember getting to a point, I'm like, okay, I have to buy a truck. Well, because I was a moron while I was married and let my house go under, my credit shot. So I'm like, I'm not buying a truck. There's no way. So I remember calling my mom. I'm like, hey, this is where I'm at. Here's what my finances look like. At this point, I'm open. I'm honest. I'm like, here are the books. I have to get into a truck. Would you just consider and pray about co-signing a loan? I can afford it. I just can't get the loan.
Yeah.
And she calls me back the following night at midnight. And she goes, I've already been praying about it. I'm going to just front you the money. And I was like, what?
Wow.
I've never asked my parents for money in my life.
Yeah.
And after almost 10 years of us talking once a month, and then that year, our relationship's going through the roof. And then for the Lord to come through and be like, yeah, we'll do this.
That's cool, man.
That was unreal.
That's cool.
Right. And so now I've got this truck, and
Praise God for moms.
Yeah. And the wild thing is she was always there. I just refused to see it.
Dude, I can't hand it to your mom, man. The amount of times that she kicked you and your brother out of your home.
Gosh.
I genuinely know very few women that would have that type of backbone.
I'll say this. I'm single, and I part of me looks forward to the day I bring a girl home. The other part of me is like, oh, this girl better know what's up.
Yeah.
No, my mom's awesome, man. Yeah, she's awesome.
She doesn't mess around.
No.
Yeah.
No, she stands on truth, and she'll stand up for what's right no matter the cost.
Wow.
And a lot of the times that, the cost was me or my little brother. And whether that was kicking us out or being like, okay, you want to go rent a house because you think you're a man and you're a senior, go for it.
Wow.
Go figure it out. Oh, by the way, that truck you have, because I was in high school, I was using my dad's truck. He's like, yeah, you can't have that.
Yeah.
That's in my name.
Yeah.
I was like, crap.
Yeah.
you know? But in my pride, I still moved out. And it sucked. Right? So, yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, hard love. For sure.
Yeah, hard love.
Yeah. But yeah, so now I've got this business going. And I'm like, what's the next move?
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to stay in this house. My 1-year lease is coming up. I'm doing the right things. And again, nothing's being done perfect. Right? It's still, at this point, I was still playing in the band. And not drinking near as often or as much. Because I knew, at this point, I'm like, bro, if I go down this road again, there's no coming back.
Yeah.
There's not.
Yeah.
Right? But I would still ride a fine line. And I did that for a while. And then there was this point, there was just this pull from the Lord. It's like, hey, man, I want you to lay down music. And at this point, too, I was getting tired of the monotony of just playing. And I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I play music because I enjoy it. I don't care what people oh, hey, he should have won something different on stage, or he should have played that different. I don't really care. I'm not here for the crowd. I love playing guitar, and that's one of my passions, and it's a gift. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Right? But it no longer became that, and it became more of a chore, and I hated that. And then there was this pull, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm laying down music for 2 months or 2 years. Or maybe 20 years. I have no idea. But this was, I would say, the second choice I had to make to where I just had to lay something down and trust in the Lord. And the first was, again, where coming at her anew, I had to make a choice. Am I going to be mad at everybody, or am I going to take ownership of what got me here and move forward in that?
Yeah.
And I chose that, and it got me to this point. And now I'm choosing to just listen and lay music down. And when I did that, there was a shift in community, and I'm plugging in different ways, you know. That's where we started plugging in more. The whole Caveman Combine thing became a thing, and, you know, now I'm looking at just praying at plugging in back into a church, whatever format as far as worship goes. And I'm praying about this about a year after making this decision to stop just playing music as a whole. And that time as well, I'm like, my 1-year lease is coming up. I don't want to stay here.
Right.
You know, I'm doing good financially. I'm paying debts off. I'm healthy. I'm doing all these things. Like, I got to get out of here. And I was living in South Island Park.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this just isn't it.
Yeah, right.
You know, the Lord provided that for a year. It's awesome.
Yep.
It was intended for what it needed to be, but it's time to move forward.
Right.
Well, at the same time, during that year, my mom was having just health issues, just getting older, you know, and the realization of her being away from Tennessee was just kind of like, well, you know, I don't really have anybody out here.
She's still in Texas.
No, so she's back.
Okay.
But the realization was like, if something happens, I've got to drive 15 hours to get to her or find a last minute flight, right? So she's praying about moving back.
Yeah.
And then about last September, somebody sent me a house to go look at. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go look at it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, you know, because I don't think I can get a loan still. Like, credit's on the rise. Things are getting paid off, but I'm still in a tight spot.
Yeah.
And I sent her the place. I said, hey, you were thinking about moving back. What do you think about this place? And she loved it. I was like, okay. So now we're praying about this property. And then she's like, I have an idea. I'm like, what? She's like, what if we buy it together, we invest in it, and if you want to buy me out, you can. Or I can buy you out of it. Or we can just build the property up, sell it, go our different ways. I said, okay.
Yeah.
And so again, to go back just 3 years ago.
Yeah.
In 2 years, we've gone from...
You're staying in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, go figure it out, right?
Yeah, right.
Tough love and making sure we're alive once a month.
Right.
To just 100% complete 180 restoration.
Wow.
And that only comes from the Lord.
Yeah.
Right. And it's been interesting because one of my buddies, before we moved in, he goes, the Lord's about to put you through a trial run, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? He goes, you're going to have to serve your mom in ways you never have. And I'm like, okay, I got it. I hear what you're saying. And it's just been really good. Now we're at this property, you know, and we're cultivating it, and we may sell next year, may not, may buy her out. We'll see.
Yeah.
Know? But just how the Lord brought us back together, just through our own circumstances, to redeem a relationship that should have never been redeemed, is unbelievable.
Yeah. You
know, just in itself.
Yeah.
And, you know, even at this point, I'm still plugged in at the church, and the Lord's like, hey, I want you to start leading worship again. Like, okay. And it wasn't like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like a voice or just a random thought. It was like something I've been praying about for a while. Like, my heart's to get back into music. I've literally packed up my guitars, and they're sitting in a closet.
Yeah.
You know, like, I want to play again. And the opportunity opened up, and the Lord's allowing me to do that. And, yeah, it's been awesome. So.
That's great, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, there's so many parts of your story that I want to dig into, but specifically there's this theme that I'm seeing from just massive amount of pride.
Oh yeah.
Right. And then even as I'm hearing you tell your story, you're not glossing over any of your own failures, right? You're calling out your self-idolatry.
Yeah.
How does that happen? How do you go from being a self-idolater to now you're calling yourself out?
I think one of the biggest pivotal moments again is just going back to I have a choice to continue to be mad at everybody, or I can take responsibility.
Yeah.
For just how I've been,
Yeah.
and whether it was good, bad, indifferent doesn't matter. The choices I've made have brought me to this point. Nobody stuck a gun to my head and say go do this, go do that. Okay, drink that bottle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody did that.
Yep.
So for almost 10 years, I'm playing the blame game with God and everybody else in my life. It's like, no, this is where the choice has to be made. Let's make it.
Yeah.
And that was the most pivotal point. But I would say the second is as my relationship with the Lord grew, I realized none of it matters. The story and testimony I have, sure, there's, I tell people there's two types of pain in this world. There's pain we cause, and then there's just situational pain. Siblings dying, father passing away. Oh, hey, I got fired from this and I didn't do anything, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever's happening in life.
Yeah.
But I'd go to say 75% of the pain in our lives we cause, right? And so it's just bro, when you experience God's grace and mercy, and you experience His love, and then you start walking the faith out, and you're surrounded by men who you allow to speak into your life and call you out on your crap, even though you don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's okay, how can I walk away from that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's my next question is how did you end up finding those men in your life to be able, that community?
I think it goes back to, you had asked earlier, was there anything left in Tennessee for me to move back to? And my response was no. At the time there wasn't. But there was a yearning. There was a void I was trying to fill. And I knew coming back, it was just there are people here if I'm willing. Yeah. Right? And so I started reconnecting with those people. And some of the times it was just they'd go at my pride, and I was like, I hate you right now. Yeah. You know? One of the guys really called me out of my crap. You know, and the wild thing about the story of how I got to Renew is about a year and a half prior, I sent somebody a text, and he goes, hey, so you know about Renew, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, that's an option. And he left it at that. Well, that summer before I got my last DUI, I'm having lunch with another pastor, and he's just calling me out on my crap. And he goes, you need Renew. So it took two people to say it. Yeah. And it took my third DUI and my mom to be like, Renew or pack your crap. Yeah. So it's what's wild, 3 DUIs in 3 years and 3 individual people saying, hey, this is where you got to go. Yeah. This is what you need to do. Yeah. But the entire time, pride just took over. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And so, yeah.
The process, you run into guys who are prideful. What counsel would you give them?
If you don't have men in your life that know you, to the core, you need to find those men. Because we're not going to deal with our own pride. Our pride's going to keep us from dealing with our own pride. Right? Yeah. So if we don't have men that know us well enough to be like, hey, man, you're doing this, you probably want to cut it out.
Yeah. My experience, pride is an invisible sin, right? And sometimes you don't even know what's wrong in the relationship, and it's hard to even point a finger at. And I've come to learn whenever that's the case, it's typically pride, right? You know, you mentioned your wife, she got upset because he called her anger out, but her real problem was pride. Yep. She didn't want to hear it. Yeah. And unfortunately, one of the conditions of pride is isolation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why when you put two and two together, because when I got out for about, first year or so, that's all I did was isolate.
Yeah.
And of course, nothing gets better in isolation.
No, not at all.
You just dig yourself a deeper hole.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it definitely.
Doubling down on the vice that got you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate you sharing your story.
Yeah, man.
We've talked about this before. We've gone through it before, but I think one of the things that hits me the most about hearing you tell your story is how you tell it. Is the humility, and you see that because the only Andrew I've ever known is one who takes responsibility for his actions. So I don't know this prideful, arrogant SOB. But we all know that person, and if we're all honest, we all know that person in ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. That prideful, arrogant guy. Yeah. I don't need community. I don't need accountability.
Yeah.
Or even that passivity that comes in and it says, I don't want to do it. Right.
Yeah.
I like my vices too much to give them up, type thing.
Yep.
So, how many guys would you say you have in your life right now that you're doing life with?
3.
3.
3.
Are they single, married, different stages of life?
One
Same
of them's
stage?
single. The other 2 are married.
Okay. Yeah.
One's been down a really similar route,
Mm-hmm.
but has experienced victory far longer.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 are, one's a pastor, who's known me longer than I probably want him to know me.
Yeah.
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 And then one is my best friend,
Yeah.
who is married, but who has always been there and knows the deepest, darkest things of my life that, to the detail, and just knows me in a way that he knows me.
If I'm living in isolation, but I'm listening to your story, I'm like, I want that.
Yeah.
How would you recommend someone go about that?
One, you got to be in a vulnerable spot. You got to be vulnerable with yourself. You have to be willing, whether it's your church, a men's group, it could be your parents, it could be anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to. No one's going to come up to a random person and go, "Hey, man, you want accountability?"
Yeah, right.
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I think what I'm trying to say is, like, you got to be willing to see there is a lack of something in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Dive into it and go, "Hey, I need accountability," and not just go, "Oh, accountability." Now it's like, bro, I'm a dude. I need accountability for porn.
Yeah.
I need accountability for alcohol. I need accountability just to walk through singleness.
Yeah.
I need business accountability,
Yeah.
right? I need accountability in my church. So it's like pinpointing the areas, because just saying it as general, you're never going to get the accountability you need.
Yeah.
You need to pinpoint what it's for,
Yeah.
right?
That's
and
good.
then you need to take the steps to put the people in those areas. Like, sure, I could have one guy for all those things,
Mm-hmm.
but is one guy going to understand how to walk through all those things? Maybe, maybe not.
Right.
Right? But, I've got 3 guys because each area they're holding me accountable in is an area they have victory in, and they've walked through that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right? So, yeah, you got to be vulnerable with yourself first.
Could you maybe pinpoint some of the signs, like warning signs, when you start seeing someone go down that same trajectory of pride leads to the fall?
I mean, obviously isolation, but I think even before we get to isolation, there's a pattern that happens before that. So it's like, for me, it would be pulling away from serving at church, whether that's in youth or on the worship team, right? Because I've realized, hey, the Lord's given me a gift, and this is where He's allowing me to serve.
Right.
And I get to use it for His glory. Like, I want to sit in that, and I want to experience that. But the
Right.
moment I start pulling away from that, other things are going to fall, right? I'm going to start not showing up at church because now I'm not playing.
Right.
well, when I'm not showing up at church, I'm probably going to start dropping my community. When I start dropping my community, I'm going to stop dropping my accountability.
Yeah.
When I stop doing that, then I'm going to go back to porn. When I go back to porn, I'm going to go back to alcohol. When I go back to alcohol, I'm probably going to get another DUI.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there's evidence of patterns that will get you back to isolation.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, hey, I'm doing good one day, and then, oh, I found myself here.
Yeah.
You know?
Amen.
So yeah, just being aware of what your weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And where you tend to fail.
Yeah.
You know, because I think as guys, we don't want to admit we fail.
Yeah.
you know.
Totally. It's the shame.
Yes.
You're trying to hide from the shame because the shame is unbearable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think too, in that failure, when we realize it, it's like, okay, hey man, I did this. What do we need to do to move forward?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and only through that, and obviously it needs to be godly community, not just some bum schmo off the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when we do that and we're vulnerable is where we grow.
Mm.
We don't grow we grow in pride in the wrong way, but we're not going to grow biblically in pride. I mean, that's the one thing the Lord detests.
Describe that, growing in pride the wrong way.
Like, for me, growing in pride the wrong way is going to be like, hey, I got this. You know, oh, I'm drinking a fifth of Jack a night. Oh, no, I'll quit tomorrow. I'm good. I don't need people. Right? Or I'm watching porn again. Like, I'll sweep it under the rug. Like, I'll be good. Right? It's like, no. Put blockers on your stuff. Have accountability. You know? It's like live in accountability. Just live in it. And in that, like, sure, it's uncomfortable at first, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's freeing.
Totally.
You know, no matter what the object is or what the void may be, when you live in that, it's freeing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. When you're thinking about this group of men, right? Caveman Combine is new as a community. Started 40 years ago, 2022. Birthed out of really the desire for discipleship. Pull men into deliberate discomfort, throw them outside of their caves of comfort, and remind them of the glory that God has already won for them, right? And so, you know, that whole shame thing, Romans 8:1 says, therefore there's no condemnation or shame for those who are in Christ Jesus, right? That's intellectually a nice thought, but for it to be practically a reality, that takes iron sharpening iron, right? And so when you think about this community of men, where would you like to see this go, and then maybe end with what's your resolve, your encouragement that you would leave them?
Man, first off, Caveman Combine in the community is phenomenal. You know, I think the idea of something that just pinpoints who men are and forces us out of our comfort zones is so outside of what we have taught our country.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And again, it's that vulnerable aspect that we're talking about. Iron sharpens iron, but it's like, how do we get to that point?
Right.
Right? We have to be pushed. We, get uncomfortable. Embrace the rain, embrace the sun.
Yeah,
Because last year was interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I mean, just practically, the combine itself is unbelievable. I don't know. I'd love to see some more events throughout the year.
Okay.
Maybe some outings, whether backpacking, camping.
Yeah.
Just campfire, bonfire, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that appeals a lot more to our younger guys as well.
Yeah.
Versus just having something once a year. But yeah.
I like that. What kind of resolve, encouragement would you leave the guys?
As far as the combine?
Just in general. I mean, it could be anything. We're certainly living in some wild days, man. Some dark and wild days. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on in our personal worlds, right? Yeah. I think your testimony as a whole is just going to be an amazing encouragement, just to be able to follow the process of someone who's gone through a hell of a lot, right? Yeah. And then also to meet Jesus along the way, humble yourself, and then find the fruit of a life in humility.
Yeah.
But if you had any last remarks.
Yeah, I mean, community is number one.
Yeah.
If you're a guy that likes to isolate like I do, like we got to nip that in the bud.
Yeah.
Isolation kills. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You gotta be in community.
Yep.
And then once you get that community, find the men.
Mm-hmm.
If you need somewhere to start with the Caveman group chat or
Yeah.
the Combine.
Yep.
Because it's a phenomenal group of guys that genuinely care.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a fear for a lot of guys is trying to find a group of men that want to speak life into you, but do they care?
Yeah.
You know? And, I mean, I know for me that was part of that struggle.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of trust issues along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, find a group of guys, come out to Caveman Combine, get connected, just be involved.
Yeah.
Whether it's your church, just be involved.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yep.
Hey, with that, guys, it's a real treat. You guys hopefully stuck around for the whole thing. You heard them. Don't isolate. Get plugged into community. Do whatever it costs to get into community. If you're living in isolation, I mean, you're just that sheep on the herd, man. You're going to get taken out. So I think it's 1 Peter 5:7-8 says, the enemy prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in the faith, and God will give you a way out in due time. So with that, we'll see you on the next one. Dude, that was awesome. I love your story, man. That's I've heard bits and pieces and